Hey, Hound Dogs, I'm David Hankins,
I'm Paul Hankins.
I'm Trevor Hankins.
I'm Rachel Wells.
and we're here for a follow up to last week's free comic book day. We're all going to talk about the comic books that we picked up and read in the past week. So,
Oh, y'all got sleeves for your comics. I didn't get sleeves.
they got sleeves. I didn't get sleeves.
I probably maybe I can. Maybe I
We
got some
already
sleeves. So I can keep them and sell them for $1 million in I don't know 20 years.
Yeah.
we
When
have
paper doesn't exist.
we already have a bunch of bags and boards. I just did it out of habit.
Ah, okay.
Because I kind of honestly don't keep all these. You
I
know.
can't imagine most people keep their single issue comics. That's why they get so valuable when as time goes on.
Yeah, I just it's sort of space and do I really,
Yeah.
do I really
Yeah.
want to own this or keep it? I mean that's part of the whole process of free comic book day. I assume is you decide, hey, this is something I want to start following or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So does anybody have a favorite comic book they just want to share? So,
I think my favorite was the Sonic the Hedgehog, but like the beginning part. It's like a little short story about Amy and how she draws comics about everyone,
Yeah.
and everyone loves them, and it makes them happy, and it was just so heartwarming.
I guess Trevor wanted to remind everybody about the coloring that goes on with these.
Yeah, for people who don't know, Free Comic Book Day, they recently introduced a system where they color coded the logo. So, green means all ages,
Oh
blue
right.
means teen and up, and red means mature.
Ah, I saw that in the shop. I didn't even realize it was in the logo of Free Comic Book Day. Like somehow I've read all of these. I swear. It just didn't occur to me.
So you really like Sonic the Hedgehog. So three of you read that, right?
Well, she read a different. I
Oh.
think she read last year's Sonic the
Oh,
Hedgehog.
I had this one.
Yeah, that one was from last year or so.
Yeah, and there was a lot of these are from last year. I guess last year's Free Comic Day was canceled.
It's
Is that
possible.
right?
Yeah.
Could have been.
So
I think-
we read.
Well, we did it last
It-
year though. So
that
we
I,
had-
sorry, I did read that. I did read that one, that Sonic one though, and I liked it.
Yeah, same.
So I mean, you picked it up this year. It'll count. How's that? Yeah, we did this little podcast last year. So I guess maybe your store canceled or they had a low turnout or whatever.
Yeah.
Could have gotten canceled depending on where
Yeah,
you
it could be leftover stock or something.
Yeah.
I just figured they made unique comics every year, but that probably doesn't make a lot of sense
I think they do.
necessarily.
Yeah.
But don't they make?
Yeah. Well, I mean, this one is from this year.
So when you go next year, look for it.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to.
But you
But I
like?
noticed a lot of these are from 2021. A lot of these are like that I read at least.
Yeah. Well, it'll still work
Yeah,
for this.
it's new to you, as they say. They used to say about
It's
new
true.
pizza on
It is
television.
new to me.
New to you. Okay, so you liked it?
Oh yeah, I love this art. Like, it's gotta show you like this. This art is just so. It's so nice. It's so like chunky and satisfying,
Yeah.
and it's just. I said it's a story about how Amy makes comics for everyone in like the Sonic Land, and it makes them happy, and she's happy because she gets to express herself. It's just like, oh, I like Amy now. Why can't Amy be like this normally?
So that's not the story this year.
Right.
While we're still talking about Sonic the Hedgehog, here's the one from this year.
Yeah.
Cool Sonic.
So this one, it has an original. It does have an original story at the beginning. Then, the second half of it is sort of a recap of what happened in the IDW comic. Was what a framing device to try to set
Yeah.
you up for the next storyline.
Yeah, that was the case in here too. Like the first half was that nice story, and the second half was a recap of the whole comic.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is overwhelming for me. Although I don't know which one. I don't know if you got the same one that I did, but in the beginning of the story, the one thing I like about this recap story is that there's a meme right there. It's the JoJo meme,
Yeah.
and it made Dom and I both giggle.
Yeah, I got that.
I don't think they do that in this one, but it's still funny that they actually went for it before.
Yes. Although, since we've been trade waiting Sonic the Hedgehog, the recap here is some minor spoilers for us. Because we're not caught up with the single issue.
Oh no!
Well,
You gotta sue IDW.
Yeah.
So, did you guys find that a lot of these are just like half stories, or like you should have all one of these in here is Stranger Things, is a story using Resident Alien, and it takes place after book 3. Which I didn't know. It was an interesting character. He's sort of at least as they show him, he's sort of kind of an alien-looking doctor or something. But it was sort of like, oh, I guess I should have read the other 3 books.
There was a book 1 and 2.
And a 3, apparently, because it takes place after that.
Yeah.
And then the Stranger Things was sort of, I guess we haven't seen the last season of it.
No.
We've only seen the first 2 because those got physical releases.
Yeah, and so we don't have Netflix, yeah, I know. So this was sort of I assume a continuation of season 3.
Right.
They apparently, it seemed odd.
I thought there were just 2 seasons, and the 3rd season's coming, like
I
this
think
month
it's
or
like
something.
the 4th season is coming.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I've only watched like a season and a half. I guess you're right. It's 4 seasons. I've only watched a season and a half. The episodes are too long for my ADHD brain.
Well, I guess you're about as in the dark as we are.
Actually, a little more so. We've actually seen all season 2. And the twist at the end. I'm kidding.
A general consensus I get is that people don't tend to like Stranger Things past season 1. Like, I think season 1 was so strong, but apparently I don't hear the same comments about 2 and 3.
Well,
Yeah, it's probably fair.
Yeah. I can see that.
It probably. I mean, it's like he probably had a really good idea, really strong, and then we have to continue it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the first season by itself is such a succinct, strong story.
Yeah.
It's one of those shows where like it's such a good story in season 1, and then they're like season 2, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It's not done yet.
It's like Pyrocynical said, if someone, his words is like, if someone tricks you into watching The Walking Dead, only watch the first season because it's you can view that as a self-contained miniseries.
I'll have to consider that. I haven't seen it yet.
All right, we get into the old zombie thing. But anyway, so
Yeah, a lot of these comics they're not quite full stories. They're like little half stories, like this one, the Critical Role comic. It's like a 10-page Critical Role story, and then there's like a 10-page Witcher story at the end, which was quite entertaining. I liked the Witcher story.
See, that one is our red banner.
was it?
The what?
That was our red logo.
Oh yeah, it's my one red comic. There's it's not anything to do with the Mighty Nine. It's all The Witcher.
Yeah, I figured.
And what made it adult?
There are lots of blood,
Okay.
and death. Someone gets set on fire.
Oh, that's Disney.
It's
yeah.
the Witcher.
Set on fire. Because the one I read, I guess last year, not realizing it had a red banner, was the Boys, and it was like there was a lot of nudity
The
inside.
Boys. Oh no.
Well, the reason I read it last year was that people had, when we were pitching this at Comic-Con.
Yeah, Comic Creator Connection.
Yeah, someone said, "Oh, it sounds like The Boys." Really? Okay, so
we watched the first episode and we couldn't really get into it.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I've heard good things about it. I'll watch it eventually.
Not everyone's gonna like everything. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I tried to watch another, episode out of season 2, and I was like, "Oh, okay, no, it's just." It's
That's just us, though.
we're as I said once in a time we were being interviewed was on a podcast was that ours is pre-apocalyptic. Everything else seems to be post-apocalyptic. We're not. The world hasn't ended, and we're doing this.
So staying on track with the comic.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, they say write what you know. And seeing as we're in an apocalypse right now, it only makes sense to write a post-apocalyptic story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you don't know the post-apocalyptic. you know before.
Right.
Anyway, I digress. What else you got? Everybody read Kaiju 8?
I did read Kaiju number 8. It was mainly like it's like an excerpt.
Yeah.
I wish we were talking about this last night, but I feel like I have not read a manga series that did not have a very strong first chapter. Like a first chapter that tells you exactly what it's about, like exactly what you're getting into, and you know whether you're gonna like it or not.
Yeah.
And why not just give us the first chapter?
Yeah.
I feel there must be a reason why. Maybe there's like some decision making that I'm not aware of. But if it were up to me, I would just give out the first chapter, like, and then you can read the rest on like Viz or whatever.
Yeah. So if you show me the first chapter, then that make me more interested in.
So.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I did not read it. So where does this take place in the story?
I feel like this is part of like chapter 2 or something.
It feels like chapter 2 for sure.
Yeah.
The story made me think of Danny Phantom.
Maybe a little bit. Or it's kind of like Supernatural.
It's like Danny Phantom, but with kaiju instead of ghosts.
Perhaps. I am intrigued though. This is on our Dom and I share a Viz account, and this is on our list. So I might just have to go ahead and read that. Right now I'm catching up with My Hero Academia. That's going to have me occupied for a while. But eventually I'll get there.
So, I mean, that's the whole point, I assume, of Free Comic Book Day is to lure you
Oh,
in
yeah.
to want to
Marketing.
read more. So did this work? Did you want to read more?
I think I might have felt more strongly about following Kaiju number 8 if I had read the first chapter. Otherwise, the premise is interesting, but since this is an action series, I think I would have wanted to see like some actual action.
Yeah.
So what is the premise of this? For those of us that didn't read it.
It has it in the... it had a little thing. Kafka Hibino, a kaiju corpse cleanup man, has always dreamed of joining the Japan Defense Force, a military organization tasked with the neutralization of kaiju. When he gets another shot at achieving his childhood dream, he undergoes an unexpected transformation. How can he fight kaiju now that he's become one himself?
Okay.
That also at the same time sounds like Viz's answer to Attack on Titan. Or Shonen Jump's answer to Attack on Titan.
Like, yeah.
A little bit.
They
a little
lost
bit.
because Shonen Jump rejected Attack on Titan, and so then Kodansha got it.
Did they?
Yeah.
So I guess they probably like green. I'm guessing it seems like they greenlit Kaiju number 8 because they were kicking themselves for rejecting Attack on Titan.
I mean, I am intrigued by this comic. I would like to read more. I just don't know when it would happen. And I imagine it'll get an anime eventually, right?
Yeah, I'm sure. Feels very anime friendly.
I would definitely watch that.
All right.
While we're talking about the Viz sampler, we could also talk about the Sakamoto Days.
Sakamoto Days. Dom loves Sakamoto Days. He's telling me all the time I have to read it. I'll read it eventually. Because we both like it reminds us both of Way of the House Husband.
Yeah.
Which has a similar premise. For anyone who doesn't know, it's both stories involve like a mafia man who was like feared and respected as a mafia man, Yakuza rather.
Yeah.
But then he retired and went into mediocre family life, and it's
Well,
about those kind of escapades.
I've been reading Way of the House Husband. I've been really enjoying that.
Yeah. Sakamoto Days is kind of like if Way of the House Husband was a shonen. You know it.
But also if he had a kid, because the guy in Sakamoto Days has a kid,
Yeah.
and he's all about like, I've got to get this special backpack for my baby girl.
Yeah.
I think I read that the Way of the House Husband has a live action series and they added a kid in there.
Yeah. Oh, really? Interesting.
Sakamoto. I was more immediately interested in Sakamoto Days because of the sampler.
So,
Yeah. Like I mean, I was interested in both these anime or manga, before reading this little sampler, and I'm not sure that I'm like more or less interested now that I've read it, but I read it.
Yeah.
Okay.
While we're on the manga train, I read this Kodansha sampler, which has One Dance
Oh.
and Blackguard.
Ooh.
Not obviously both of them have very different premises, but both of them were just okay. Like, I wasn't necessarily interested in reading more based on what was in there, but I'm pretty sure I'm just not the target audience.
What do you think the target audience is?
Well, One Dance feels like it's sort of a romance story of sorts.
Yeah, they kind of register to me as like shoujo or seijo type stories.
Yeah. And Blackguard is a like dark fantasy, but it's supposed to.
Ooh.
The guy on the cover is supposed to be like this super badass guy, but again, in the sampler, you don't actually see him being the super badass guy. So
As soon as you said dark fantasy, it looked like your screen got brighter.
Because apparently
no.
Light wants to know that. Yes.
so yeah, I didn't really feel like exploring either series further, but it was at least interesting to see what Kodansha was up to.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. What else? I read this book, School for Extraterrestrial Girls. The story is very intriguing. I might consider this for the future.
I think I read that last year, actually. I don't know why that sounds familiar.
It might have. I think it was from 2021.
Yeah.
It's a story about. It's what it sounds like. It's a school for extraterrestrial girls, and they all have powers. And this one also has a meme in it. I have to find it because it's so good. Right here. These 2 rows of panels. And it's funny because they're both cat. They're supposed to be cat people. So like this is like a cat here. So it fits.
Yeah.
But I did like this. I can't resist. If it has girls and it has like supernatural fantasy elements, I'm here for it.
I think I read it because of the fact that, we have superpowers and their characters are going to school. I was kind of curious how they kind of handled that.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe Marty and Eli need to go to a special school.
But isn't it more of them like arriving at the school or getting to the school?
Yeah, well, they all like enter the school. Well, like this story I read is an excerpt.
Right.
It's almost kind of like a summary of the story thus far, and it kind of takes place at a point where we're well in the story. They're kind of like, it's complicated. I'm not sure I can explain it all here or that I care to, but they're kind of like all new students all meeting each other.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that from last time. So I guess it made an impression.
So what else did we?
Well, let's.
They all read Captain Underpants, right?
You 3 of you did, or
Well,
I did.
Trevor.
Yeah.
Trevor, 2 of you did. Sorry.
Yeah. And
Oh, I see. Yeah, Trevor. It was a nice little trip down memory lane. It's
Weird.
like it's
Little
all in
weird.
color.
It was interesting seeing Captain Underpants in color because I read the original black and white version.
Yeah, all the stories are a little short, just cause it's 3 in 1, so you only get like maybe less than 10 pages each. But I got to experience Dogman, which I had no idea. The story of Dogman is that it was a policeman and a dog, and they got caught in an explosion, and the policeman lost his head, and the police dog lost his body. They decided to save both of them. They would sew the dog head onto the man body, which in any other context sounds morbid and horrible and eldritch, but in the concept of Dave Pilkey sounds delightful and hilarious.
It sounds gruesome, actually.
Gonna say it made me think of Axe Cop.
Oh no.
So
And then there's Cat Kid Comic Club, which is just like a little comic club, and it was precious and sweet.
So for the I assume your memories go back to Captain Underpants. Was it just like a little story from that era, from that series of stories, or was it original, or?
It was kind of like a summation of like, I forgot how Captain Underpants came to be. It was like their teacher or something, and then what is it? He just becomes a superhero, and the kids make comments about it.
I think, and he was like, it was like under the effects of the 3D hypno ring.
Yeah, and they hypnotize him into thinking he's Captain Underpants, and then he just runs with it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very, it was such a genius concept to like, in terms of like works for kids.
Yeah.
It's just so genius.
Well, let's flip it to not so genius. I'm kidding. DC stuff I read.
Ooh.
I was gonna say comparing Dogman to Axe Cop as a compliment.
Okay. Dark Crisis Special Edition. I don't know if you can see that. There you go.
Ooh.
It's sort of the Justice League is no more, and they're reforming it with, of course, people that are exactly the same but a younger generation kind of deal.
Right.
So it's kind of was kind of interesting, I guess. And the other one was there was another one in here where Crisis on Infinite Earths, and I kind of didn't really get into that too much. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
And then there was Suicide Squad King Shark, which was sort of
the Shark Man.
which was sort of a storyline out of the Harley Quinn animated series.
Yeah.
Where he goes back to his kingdom, and he goes with him is the Defacer, new villain, and
The Defacer.
The Defacer, yeah. And then the other one was as if Red Hood joins the Suicide Squad. I don't know if you can see that. Red Hood, see at the bottom. Anyway, so Robin basically ends up in jail because he turns into Red Hood and gets captured, and then they try to get him to join the Suicide Squad.
Huh.
I don't think
That's interesting.
Yeah. So you had a superhero turn into a supervillain trying to join the Suicide Squad.
Which comic was your favorite, David?
Geez, that's really hard to say. Probably the Stranger Things was. The other two I didn't really quite get into. This was. If you can see that.
Ooh. Oh, I saw that one. Yeah.
Yeah. It started out being sort of. It takes place. It started out taking place in the Philippines and sort of a rough area of town, and then it sort of got into. It looked like kind of plant people from space, and I was like, it sort of lost me at that point. So I wasn't really wanting to read more. Sorry. And then the other one I read was The Electric Black.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
And it's a kind of a good versus evil kind of thing. And it's like these are supposedly, if you can see that, these are the good guys. Old flabby white guys. And,
it looks like Santa Claus and his ripped cousin are coming to give us presents, you know?
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, kind of.
They're enjoying a time in the sauna before they get on their sleigh.
Yeah. It looks like he's kind of like cooking in the sauna. That's what I was getting out of it. Like, but anyway. Yeah, it was just, I don't know. It didn't really do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm done. But I was sort of interested in what is the Electric Black, and it was kind of an intriguing idea, but it just didn't really.
I guess you found out.
Yeah, and it wasn't. I'm sorry, it wasn't my cup of tea.
What about Paul and Trevor? What was your favorite comics?
I would say my favorite one was the Sonic one and the Sakamoto Days sampler from what
Yeah.
I had.
So
I got 2 other books. There was this Donald Duck.
Oh yeah.
It was a collection of 4 stories. One of them was Donald Duck, one was Super Goof, one was Donald and Feathery, and another was Big Bad Wolf. I like the Donald Duck ones more. This is kind of meaty. This whole thing was meaty at over 30 pages. But
Wow.
Did you have to be familiar with any storyline?
they were self-contained stories. But it's sort of a, I guess you could say, advertisement for like Fantagraphics reprinting Disney comics. But it was interesting to see. There's a kind of a different take on Disney characters. And then I also got this Street Fighter comic.
Oh yeah, Ganondorf.
This one is focused on Blanca, and it's actually a full story. What was interesting was that they did it without any dialogue. So it was carried entirely on the strength of the artwork, and the artwork is also pretty good because it's Genzo Man's artwork. Like,
Oh nice.
and it doesn't make me want to like read even more Street Fighter, like pick up Street Fighter comics regularly, but I thought it was done pretty well.
You know, I never knew before this that Street Fighter had a comic, but it doesn't exactly surprise me. I feel like we should make like a new rule, like Rule 34, where it's if it exists, there's a comic series
Yes,
of
there
it.
is.
Yeah.
I think, or at least there's a free comic book day comic book.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. Yeah, it does seem like if pretty much it's like every movie will eventually become a musical kind of. You know? I mean, I'm waiting for the Top Gun Maverick, musical, but I mean, they seem that seems always so yeah, everything has a comic book, at least say one shot or something. It seems like.
Are there any other comics we wanted to discuss?
Trevor.
couple other that I got.
Okay.
Oh, I have one more. It was the Oni Press collection.
Oh, yeah.
I felt kind of ambivalent. Not what's the word? I wasn't really a big fan of 3 of them, but the one of them, Jonah and the Impossible Monsters, I adored. Let me flip to it because it's also got extremely good art that I just loved so much. Like this double spread is chef's kiss, beautiful. Yeah. Like this composition and the plants and the animals, and it's just like, wow. Oh, I love it so much. I'm gonna have to pick. I'm gonna have to pick at least one book up.
Trevor, you had a couple?
Yeah, one of them was...
Oh, I see. I'm sorry. I thought you said you had no more.
I had 2 more.
Oh, no.
You kind of dropped out there, so... Go ahead.
One was the best Archie comic ever.
Is it the best Archie comic ever?
I don't... most of it was, just, like, excerpts from other Archie specials kind of slapped together
Yeah.
to try to form a story. It even tells you which stories the excerpts are from.
I think I read an Archie last year or the year before or something from Pre-Comic Book Day, and it was sort of all the Archie, the whole Archie multiverse thrown together.
So I thought it was kind of funny. I did that Spider-Man.
Yes, the memes. There is no greater pleasure to me than seeing memes in comics. I love it. I just love it.
The other one I picked up was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh.
The interesting is that it's like with Sonic, it's kind of like with the Sonic one. It was on sorry, as an original story that was meant to act as a lead into a storyline. What was interesting is that it was done in a way that was also an homage to the first issue of the Mirage comic, and then they actually reprinted that part of the Mirage comic that they were homaging.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
I feel like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is like Batman, where it started off as something silly and ridiculous, and now it's exclusively gritty.
I don't know. Did Batman start off as ridiculous? This is a detective.
I feel like when it started, it wasn't as gritty and dark and adult.
No, I don't think
right?
so.
Oh, probably not. I mean, everything's gotten grittier. It seems like.
Yeah.
It also extends to the cover.
Oh, that's a cool shot. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's great. Oh, I see it now. I love it.
Also, this is the back of the cover.
Wow.
Ooh.
Well, we're talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Rise of the TMNT is like really awesome, and I cannot recommend it enough.
I've heard good things about that show. I'm gonna have to. What? Like, where do I watch it even?
You can stream the whole thing on Paramount Plus.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Just what you want.
It looks good. Definitely looks good.
The streaming subscription.
I got Nickelodeon kind of screwed the show over. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's what I heard. They like to do that. Those production companies.
Yeah.
Just take their best shows and screw them.
Let's put it on Nicktoons.
All right. So, so what was your favorite, Rachel?
My favorite was the where is it? Sonic the Hedgehog. Here it is. Like the first part of the story.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was written by. Funny enough, the first story was written by Gail Galligan, who was Dom's teaching assistant while he was in school. Which is like, yes, connections.
Wow. His teaching assistant.
Yeah. They're basically just No.
Oh, teaching
Who was
assistant
it?
for a
Gail
class.
Galligan. Yeah, for a
Okay.
class, because it's master students that are teaching assistants.
Right,
Yeah.
right. This is back at SCAD.
Yeah.
All right, that's a cool connection.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
I one time totally changed the story. I worked with a guy who was temping at a company I was working at, and he wrote a Marvel comic, and he made the mistake of bringing it to work, and we kind of had him sign it, give it to us. It was, but it was kind of cool. I mean, who knew somebody that, he was just like,
Yeah.
he had worked at Marvel and had this idea that nobody was using some character. I forgot the name of the character. And so he wrote a story, and they printed it. So it was pretty cool. It does happen.
That's awesome.
Anyway, that's pretty cool. That's a neat connection to have.
Yeah. It's fun because when you go to art school, you tend to, especially when you're involved in like entertainment, like TV show, games, it's fun to like see credits and just see names that you know.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's our friend right there. She did that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess I'll just ask this. Do we want to try to do this again next year?
I would love to do it next year.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Maybe you'll pick up the 2022 ones.
I hope so. Well, I'll have to find something new. They had a lot there, more than I expected. Like I said, before I actually knew what Free Comic Day was, I thought it just gave you one comic.
Here's
Very
your free one.
Fortunately, IDW puts the year in the corner.
Oh my god, they do! I didn't even notice that.
You were just
I thought I
picking-
was astute, but apparently I'm not.
It's fine. It's fine. You just were trying to grab some comic books.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised you hadn't been to Free Comic Book Day before, but it's okay.
I'm not, like I said, I'm not someone who normally like enjoys single issues.
Yeah.
But you guys asked me to, so I figured why not? It's free.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was fun.
Okay, so we'll try to do it again next year.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
Yeah.
a whole year from now. So until then, I'm David Hankins,
I'm Paul Hankins.
I'm Trevor Hankins.
And I'm Rachel Wells.
and this has been our wrap up of Free Comic Book Day 2022. Bye.